Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I've noticed it's actually been quite a while since I posted something out on here, almost a year now. So for anybody who's been a subscriber since I've last posted something, welcome to the channel. It's nice to have you here, and anybody returning, welcome back. So I've got a few little notes, so you'll see me leaking down here quite a bit today because I'm trying to discuss something with the community that it has been on my mind for quite a while. Actually, I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I'm just wanting to really put some thoughts out there and start a conversation. So, witchcraft, politics, activism, it's a huge topic and very, very relevant right now, which is why it's more at the forefront and why I've really thought, okay, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so let's get the ball rolling. I also want to lead to something more at the end. So if you can stay with the video, you'll see why I'm discussing this right at the very end. So witchcraft and politics. I have very particular ideas on this. I'm of course not the be all and end all of witchcraft ideas, so take what you will from this video. I'm not pushing an agenda, and people who know me quite well. I don't do that. I share thoughts, and people can take from those thoughts what they choose. So that's the same here. Particularly in politics, is quite a charged topic. So we have to take a measure of I can't think of the word, a measure of common sense, really, with cloudy all of a sudden, a bit of common sense with the subject, and just say, like, we all have different opinions on these topics and how they work, and we can still draw some sensible conversations from topics. So I'm going to start with definitions. It's always useful to get on the same page, right? So politics. What is politics? Well, according to the official definition of politics, it's anything to do with the ruling of a country or its government. And what is activism? Activism is the, quote, vigorous engagement with let me find it. Vigorous engagement with campaigning in order to steer the direction of social and political issues. Okay, so when we discuss and we say, we're hearing a lot lately, witchcraft is inherently political. I have a slight thing with this because of the word inherently, because inherently really implies that that is the purpose or intention or why something exists. I see that witchcraft has a place where, if you want to use it as part of or an aid to social, political issues, activism, political change, yes. But do I find that that is the purpose of witchcraft, why it exists in the first place? I wouldn't say that, primarily because it's got so many other uses. You look at historical accounts, right? So you have somebody who goes and gets like a love charm from a witch so that they can steal somebody's lover. Is that political? Is that activism? So there are situations where it isn't that thing, so it can't inherently be, but does it have a place within? Absolutely, because it's a tool, and like all good tools, it's versatile and can be used for lots of different things. So it definitely has a place. So let's have a discussion about the place. So I'm going to be using current world affairs because that's what people are talking about and why it's relevant now, and it'll also give you an idea, because this is the original thing I wanted to discuss. It shows you how long ago I was going to talk about it when you hear the example that I give, which is, we also have people who will use the label of witch as part of an activist thing, but are they doing witchcraft? Some people will say they're a witch and their sole craft is standing on the street holding a placard. Well, is that witchcraft, or is it making a statement using the identity, the label of a witch? And I think we have to reclaim a bit of witchcraft here and say, well, actually, some things are witchcraft, some things are not. Let's just draw a line. Being a witch is doing witchcraft, using the craft for something to create change. So I'm going to use the presidential elections in the US. So we have people who are not very happy with what is going on politically, to say the least, at present, and people are wanting to use the craft to lean into something that they have at their disposal to empower themselves, to feel that they can be safe, be heard, and primarily it's about safety when it all gets boiled down. So we have to really look at, well, who are we listening to on this and what is being said? Some things, yes, absolutely is witchcraft and it's being done, and I'll get to that point more in a second. But let's first talk about the activist as a label, using the label of witchcraft. So we have the binding of the president, and people have signs, I'm going to bind you. Is it productive? And I don't see that it is, because holding a sign in the street that says, I am binding you, is not the same as being in your home on your own with a coven, whatever, and doing a binding, and let's be honest, is it productive? Well, it didn't work last time. It's not worked this time. A binding prevents someone from doing something. What's been bound from these signs? Seriously, what has happened? Well, nothing happened. So that's one part of it that we have to filter out of this discussion, because it is dominating it quite a bit at the minute, which is part of why I wanted to have this conversation. Check my notes. Right, okay. So when it comes to actual witches using witchcraft in a political way as an aid in political and activist work, what does that look like? And is it sensible? So this is why you'll get a gauge of what I wanted to talk about originally, how long ago I wanted to talk about it. There's always a swing back with unbalanced magic. Always. And we saw this last time. There was the binding that went very viral of Donald Trump in his first presidential period, whatever you want to call it, term, that's the word, term. And how effective was it? Well, it wasn't. But the magic did work, and I'm going to explain how the swing back happened, because it was a very unbalanced working in a moment. But the same thing happened again. It was the lead up to the election, so before anybody voted, and everyone did the exact same thing again, and the same thing happened again. And people want to repeat the exercise again, and I'm like, you must be seeing this isn't not only working, it's causing people more of what they don't want, which is not what witchcraft is intended to do. So, how does swing back work? So when something is unbalanced, it goes too far, and the pendulum has to swing back to the other side, so it introduces the complete polar opposite thing to clash with something, so that it brings and levels and neutralizes itself out, because the universe is constantly seeking balance, and all spell work fundamentally creates an imbalance which should be a controlled and precise imbalance, and then the result is when the universe responds by trying to balance something out, it introduces something, and that is the result of the magic. So it's how all magic works on this swing effect, right? But when it becomes imbalanced, it goes too far, and then we don't end up getting what we wanted, because if the power's imbalanced, it doesn't just produce a result, it's also trying to balance out what you did wrong. And this is what we saw last time, okay? So you saw these bindings. So this was a spiritual binding, and what happened? you got very radical Christian groups who suddenly started praying to magazine covers, statues, pictures of the president, instead of praying to Jesus, praying to God, praying to the people who they campaign that we should be praying to like 24/7. And that was a swing back because it was belief and spirituality and faith versus belief, spirituality and faith. They were clashing in opposite directions. So you took some status from him and gave him like a semi-divine status instead. And then when the magic sort of fizzled out, everybody stopped praying to Donald Trump, and it was kind of weird. And then they did the binding again, and then not very long after, he was signing Bibles, and that's also become a thing now. Like they did the binding again over his presidential campaign, and then within no time at all, he suddenly was back on the Bible thing with like official Donald Trump Bibles with his name printed on the Bible cover and autographing them, which is kind of really weird. But people sort of don't notice that it's the complete opposite of the work that's been done. You know, you try and put a restraint on somebody spiritually, and then suddenly they get very unrestrained access somewhere else tied to spiritual stuff. It's a counterbalance, and it's coincided every time with these witches doing these campaigns of bindings. So what do you do if you want to do witchcraft and you want to do it in a balanced way? Well, that's the crux of why I'm doing this. So I felt very called recently more than ever to respond and give my time to a wider magical community, but specifically witches, because that's what I do. So let me very quickly pull up this calendar. It's not doing it. Okay, let me look. It won't be a second. I apologise. I should have had this up already and I didn't. Right, so today is the 26th. So on the 8th of March, right, so the 8th of March, 2025, UK time to be announced, I'm going to go live on a video call, which I will make available to the link to join that video call to anybody who wants to join. So if you would like to join a group discussion with me, let's call it a group discussion, a community talk, event, service, whatever you want to call it, where I'm going to give tips, ideas, anything that you feel that you need right now. And we can have a discussion too, back and forward on ideas, sharing ideas, but primarily the idea is a jump off from this video. We've seen how things can go somewhat wrong, but we know the people in wanting to do something, so what can they do? So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be giving my time, it's free, completely free, so it will be just me answering to the community, giving something to the community, anybody who wants it. We can have a chat. And so what I will say is, unless you speak to me and we already have an established way of communicating with me on any other platform or method or way, whatever, the best place to contact me will be on Instagram, instagram.com/witchcraftunchained. And just let me know that you're interested. 8th of March, time to be announced, but it will be UK time. If it's something that you want to be involved in and join the discussion, or just sit in and listen, or ask just questions for anything that you want to address, work on particularly, and I'll just share tips, tricks, ideas. And like I said at the start of the video, I'm not be all and end all, so you can take the advice, it's free, but do what you want at the end of the day. So that's it for now. I will try and post more frequently on this channel. But this is something that I've been felt like I really need to do. So I'm going to put the time aside to do this. So yeah, just reach out, let me know what you think. And also, what do you think about the swing bag? Has anybody come across this in the Witchcraft before? I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, so I'm intrigued. Does anyone have any other examples of magical swing bag? Like when it's imbalanced, what's the opposite? Drop them in the comment. Let's have a chat about that too. But this live that will happen on the 8th of March will be intended specifically just to address what people may want to do for political activist style things while using the craft. And we'll keep it balanced so there isn't any swing back. All my advice will take that into account and make sure that it's all presented in a very balanced way. So until then, follow, like, subscribe, share the video too. Some you might not want to join the live. You might find somebody who might vibe with this type of discussion. So feel free to do that and drop something in the comments, or just leave a nice little comment, whatever. And I will speak to you all soon, hopefully with some interesting witchy stuff and content and ideas. So until next time, take care. Bye.